What up YouTube, it's your boy ProfessorStix back again with another Call of Duty Warzone video. Now today we're going to be sharing some of the updates that will be coming in Season 3. So I just thought, let's talk about some of the weapons that are going to be coming out because we're going to have a lot more versus videos coming out. And so make sure you hit that like button if you learned something new. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because there are a lot of weapon changes coming in Season 3. And we're hoping that the new addition, the new SMG, the PPSH-41 is going to be an absolute unit. Let's jump right into it. We're going to be getting a new event, and you know how the events normally work. You just got to do different missions, and then as you collect different things, you'll get an exclusive skin once you've completed the missions. The battle pass, Season 3 battle pass, as I said, you are going to get that PPSH-41 SMG in tier 15. That's how it normally is. Couple new blueprints, and then the new sniper rifle, which I'm excited to use. Apparently it's really like the Kar 98, so I really like the Kar 98, so I'm definitely excited to use this sniper rifle, and hopefully we can get into some versus videos with some sniper rifles. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that, and I've been getting to that real quick. All right, so you already know we're getting a new map. We're very excited for that because the map that we have now is tired. It's, oh my gosh, hey, I'm just hoping that it's going to be a new experience. That's what I'm excited for. All right, so if you play on PC, this new NVIDIA DLSS is a performance booster. It's going to allow you to get some more frames. We are going to be getting some new loot spawn, which is pretty standard. Every time we got a new season, we get some new weapons. But what we're seeing now is that it's going to be exclusively Black Ops Cold War weapons, which is pretty interesting because even now, mostly Black Ops weapons spawn. You do have the MW weapons here and there, but most of the times people are buying for the FFAR. We are going to be getting those, and the new weapons will also be available as spawn loot, it looks like. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be really interesting. That's going to be very, very exciting. So they have fixed a bunch of bugs here. This is one to fix the bug with most Cold War barrels where hipfire and ADS idle sway were being increased when they should not have been. All right, well, that's really good. That's really good. That's going to definitely change the way some weapons handle. There are going to be a lot of different guns to use now in Warzone because it looks like they're doing a pretty decent change to a lot of the weapons. Fixed a bug with some ZRG 20mm optics that disabled the ability to hold breath. Okay, haven't really used the ZRG yet. We're probably going to get into that in Season 3. Fixed a bug where some loot would drop in close proximity to death. Okay, fixed a bug where if the player is downed while switching to a gunner seat, they would become invisible and or invulnerable. Now this is really huge because we've noticed that people have been exploiting this every time the new helicopters with the gunner seats came into the game. So because they fixed it, hopefully that means they're going to bring it back. That will add a new complexity to the game. That should be very exciting. Having a helicopter shooting at people, that's some dope stuff right there. All right, Cold War weapons have had their ammo names updated. Okay, the FFAR crosshair has been updated to match other assault rifles. All right, good. All right, so the new weapons, like we said, those are going to be available right away as soon as you get the battle pass. The PPSH-41 at tier 15 and the Swiss K31 at tier 31. I am very, very excited to get my hands on these. I think this SMG is going to be absolutely broken. So we're definitely going to be doing some comparison videos with that as soon as we can. 2 new weapon unlocks. Okay, so if you didn't get the LC10 or the FFAR 83, you can now get them using some weapon unlock challenges. These should be very, very easy if you're pretty skilled at the game and you get your shots in. All right, so let's look at some of the adjustments that they're doing to the assault rifles. The Cold War AK-47 has its recoil pattern. The recoil pattern has been adjusted. Okay, so the recoil pattern was really tough to use on the Cold War AK-47. That's why a lot of people didn't use it. The recoil pattern on the Cold War AK-47 had made its downsides far more apparent than its upsides. We have smoothed out its recoil to make it easier to control. If you are accurate or skilled at recoil control, you will now find the AK-47 quite effective at most range. Ooh, that's actually pretty exciting because now the AK-47 could actually rise up into some viable weapon choices because the TTK was really amazing. You just couldn't hit shots with it at all. So if you could control the recoil pattern at this point, that actually might be very viable. All right, so the FFAR 83 minimum damage increase from 25 to 26. All right, so that's a buff. Maximum damage decreased from 33 to 31. That's a nerf. Maximum damage range increased by 17%. That's a buff. recoil pattern has been adjusted. So same thing here with the FFAR. It just, the recoil was just weird. It melts, but the recoil was just weird, not kind of the standard recoil patterns that you see with most ARs in Warzone. So a lot of people weren't using it. Okay, so the FFAR has been nerfed again. Maximum damage range decreased from 30 to 27. So that is a nerf. Maximum damage range decreased by 15%. And that's actually a good nerf because it had really good damage range already. The neck damage multiplier changed from 1.1 to 1. The upper torso damage multiplier changed from 1.1 to 1. And then the ADS speed decreased slightly. So the FFAR has been nerfed. It's been nerfed again. Now, I think it's still gonna be viable. It's just such a well-rounded weapon for close range and mid range. But according to them, what they're saying is that it's now going to be a preference rather than a loadout necessity. And that's the thing, you had to run the FFAR if you wanted to be competitive, if you wanted to get in a pretty decent gameplay when the lobbies are just super sweaty. So I'm pretty sure that that's what they mean by it doesn't have to be a loadout necessity. Now you have other options. Now they did do some adjustments to the Groza. I thought the Groza was going to rise into the meta. They have increased the recoil slightly, which it really didn't have much recoil to begin with, but they've increased it slightly. ADS speed decreased slightly, so they've kind of slowed it down there. It did have really good ADS speed when we compared it to the FFAR, and the upper torso damage multiplier has changed from 1.3 to 1.1. So pretty much they're saying right here, this change is more of a precaution. We expect in the absence of the FFAR that the Groza would rise to take its place, which is what I predicted. While there will always be a meta, we want the meta to exist in a TTK range that is a bit higher than where we are currently. In that regard, we believe the Groza was a bit of an outlier that, much like the FFAR, could have been detrimental to weapon diversity. Bringing the Groza down a notch should allow for some healthy competition in this weapon category. This is huge because this is what the community has been asking for this entire time. Just give us some proper weapon balancing. Let there be some choice. If I want to use other weapons, give me the option to do that and still be competitive. And so it looks like Raven Software is starting to see that, you know, there are going to be metas, but there's going to be a TTK range that they want to be inside of, so that all the weapons have options, all the weapons are viable, but then you have the option as a player to choose which one you like based on its pros and cons. And so it looks like that's what they're doing here. Even with the Krig 6, head damage multiplier changed from 1.4 to 1.5. Neck damage multiplier changed from 1 to 1.3. So those are buffs and a buff. Upper torso damage multiplier changed from 1 to 1.1. Lower torso damage multiplier changed from 1 to 1.1. So again, another buff here. The Krig has long been overshadowed by other all-stars in the AR category. We believe this change will allow for a more competitive time to kill, given the shots are well placed. So the Krig 6 was actually super accurate. It just felt like it was not really downing players pretty quickly. And so with these buffs to the damage profile, the Krig 6, y'all been saying it actually, like, it might be slapping now. So I can't wait to get into the game and try these out. The QBZ, movement speed increase, ADS move speed increase, neck damage multiplier changed from 1 to 1.2, and then upper torso damage multiplier changed from 1 to 1.1. So we're definitely gonna have to give the QBZ a try. Haven't really tried it out yet. Excited to give that a try. The LC10 bullet velocity increased slightly. The Mac10 maximum damage decreased by 1. So another nerf to the Mac10. This is another precautionary change to promote diversity. The Mac10 is both popular and fun to use. Part of what makes the Mac10 feel fair to play against is that its upside feels comparative to its downside. That is where player skill comes in. Knowing when and what weapon to swap to during an engagement is a facet of skill expression we want to highlight whenever possible. While this change only brings the Mac10's time to kill up by about 10%, we think this is a good place to start to encourage exploration in the SMG category. All right, that's really good because right now, ain't nobody using SMGs. You're usually using the FFAR or the Mac10. Anything else outside of that, you're pretty much just experimenting and trying to, you know, try to have fun with trying out different weapons. But those were pretty much the only two SMG and AR that you could use at close range. So hopefully this allows other SMGs to step into the limelight. Hopefully the PPSH is an absolute monster. All right, sniper rifles. Pellington, the ADS speed has increased. The raise time increased slightly. I think that's the weapon swap speed. Tactical rifles. So this is the Cold War AUG right here, the tactical rifle Charlie. It's the Cold War AUG. The time between bursts increased by 33%. Okay, whoo. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. That means you can't spam it as much as you used to be. And that's why the AUG was so overpowered, because you can just spam it. Now the neck damage multiplier changed from 1.8 to 1.3. So the damage profile has been nerfed slightly. The M16 time between bursts increased by 10%. Okay, not as much as the AUG, but still an increase. And then the neck damage multiplier changed from 1.8 to 1.1. That's a big nerf in terms of that's why the burst rifles were so OP, because you really only needed to hit 1 or 2 of the burst fire to really crack armor down instantly in those 2 first bursts. So now it looks like you're probably gonna have to hit at least 2 to 3 or maybe 4 shots. We'll have to do the testing and see what it's like, but I'll definitely be bringing that to you guys in some more comparison videos. Let's look at the, ooh, wait, what do we have here? And we are keeping a close eye on the AMAX. No king rules forever. Yo, the AMAX is a trusted sidekick. The AMAX is what you go to when you're like, I don't want to use anything else, but I still want to be competitive. The AMAX has been running the game for multiple seasons. So let's see what they do to it. I think they're really trying to push us to Cold War weapons exclusively, preparing us for the next Call of Duty, where those weapons will then be integrated, and then there'll be like, you know, not too many choices, because too many choices just paralyzes things, and you got to maintain too many different variables. All right, attachments. Position concealment will reduce the time your position is visible on the compass and minimap after firing. This effect has been added as a pro on both the flash guard and the SOCOM KGB eliminator. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much like when you shoot, you ping on the map. If you have any one of those muzzles on, most people are using the agency suppressor anyways. All right, so the barrels for all the tactical rifles have also been nerfed. They probably did change the bullet velocity on the titanium barrel. We'll just have to test that out and see. It looks like the tactical rifles are no longer going to be king, in my opinion. That's what it looks like. It looks like they've been nerfed almost into the ground. So we'll see. They'll probably be decent options, but they're probably not going to be the meta anymore. The pistols, the Psychov pistols have been nerfed again. Minimum damage reduced from 23 to 19. And also another damage nerf to the Akimbos. Minimum damage reduced from 19 to 14. This only affects the weapon when both the Shuriken Auto, the full auto barrel, and the Akimbo attachments are equipped simultaneously. So that's really good, honestly. Like, it didn't make sense for the weapon to be so OP. And then the fact that, like they said here, you can also add ghosts. Let's read this real quick. The Psychov, when equipped with any permutation of the Shuriken 140mm auto, has been far more lethal at range than we would prefer. When secondary weapons can go toe-to-toe with, or even best, a primary weapon consistently, we risk streamlining access to one of the most powerful perks in the game, Ghost. While we continue to examine the impact that Ghost has on gameplay, providing easier access to it with negligible downside is not something we want to enable. And it looks like these guys are starting to understand the ecosystem and pretty much how players play in Warzone. And they're starting to make weapon balances to make the game a little bit more competitive, in the sense that there's going to be more skill gap. And you're going to be able to see certain players, they're going to have to take a downside to have big advantage. And it's not going to be as easy as like things like the Psychov pistol, where it takes literally no skill to be able to use. So I really do enjoy the fact that Raven Software is putting in some effort into this balancing, and they're looking at how the weapon system works with the perk system and works with the overall game in general. Looks like we got some laser adjustments to the Ember sighting point. ADS speed penalty reduced by 20%, so that's a buff. The SOF target designator flashlight is now visible during hip fire and ADS. All right. The magazine, the salvo, and the VDV fast mag, ADS speed penalty reduced by 20%. The speed mag pistol, ADS speed penalty reduced by 40%. All right, so they're pretty much just making it that the ADS speed is going to be a little bit faster. They're reducing the penalty. On the muzzles, flash guard, added position concealment. So we already talked about this. Optics, it looks like they nerfed the ADS speed on a couple of these different optics. The rear grips increased to ADS speed reduced by roughly 10%. So a lot of changes. There are probably some hidden changes that we don't even know about until guys like JGOD, True Game Data, get into the nitty gritty of testing, until we start playing with them and seeing if they're viable in Warzone, and seeing if the new weapons that are going to rise into the meta shaking things up. I'm hoping we go back into, you know, season 5, season 6 of the modern warfare era, and when we had the Kilo, the Gra, the AMAX, there were multiple different options to choose from. The MP5, the MP7 was good at one point. I'm hoping that now that we are more focused on the Cold War weapons, that we'll actually be able to use more of the Cold War weapons and not just have to use 1 or 2. So the rose skin has finally been adjusted. Hopefully we can see them. Hopefully we can see them, because they've been terrorizing me in my nightmares. We got some new operators, the Wrath operator, which will be available with the battle pass, and then some store bundles. Prestige pass, these are all, you know, all the same as previous before. Stores, everything is all the same. You know, they're gonna be trying to get our money. And then so the updates right here is going to be, you know, about 20 to 25 gigs. Nothing crazy, as normally it's like 40, 500. You got to delete a whole game to get it. That is it, guys. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you guys for everything that you've been doing, all the love on the content. We are going to be dropping some new versus videos. I'm super excited to see how these weapons with the new nerfs and the new buffs, how they pan out in Warzone. I'm super excited for the new map. So I will be live today, 3 p.m. for the event on Twitch. Make sure you guys come out, hang out, make sure you follow. Link will be in the description below. As always, appreciate you guys. Make sure you drop into the new Verdansk and continue to frag out. Peace.